Okay, so this will be a guide on how to fix your flamers if you find that you are getting no range. I've just jumped into the server, picked up this flamer, and you'll notice when I'm firing the weapon, did you see what I did there? It's not getting any range at all, and this might come as a shock to the viewers, but this game has bugs. So what you want to do to fix that is simply go on your bloody workbench, find the barrels, strip the long barrel off, and replace the long barrel, and then when you go ahead and use the weapon again, you'll note that we're actually throwing flames now. It's a flamethrower now, like it should be. How good's that? Easy, 2 seconds to fix. G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is a Vampire's Flamer with 25% faster fire rate, already made that joke, won't make it again, and 15% faster reload. And honestly, after the Berserkers thing I did yesterday, I think I'm ready for some just good old-fashioned tanking. So we're going down to Nerd Rage, sitting in Power Armor. All of that will be overeaters. Nerd Rage threshold means emergency protocols are active, so going to be very, very difficult for enemies to kill, which is great. Doing 95 fire damage, that's the Skyrim flame damage there. So you know what? Since we're already using Skyrim damage, let's call this one... this one. Yes, that's an esoteric reference that only people who paid attention to what they were doing in Skyrim or just what happened around them, they'll know. Anyway, so it's got the Dragon's Breath skin as well, so, you know, we've got to make this a little bit more on the nose here. And it's not a dragon head, but you know, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. It looks more like a human skull. I thought that was a Deathclaw head the first time I saw that. I thought, that's a little bit silly because Deathclaws don't breathe fire yet, but no, it's just like a dude's little spiky head. Also, you can't bloody see what you're shooting at with this, but you can just use first person instead. I think it gives it a lot of presence. I quite like this skin actually. It's all rusted and looking like a Mad Max thing, very nice. And enter the loadout. So we've tuned the loadout a bit, high emphasis on agility here because we want to be getting as much as sprinting as possible with a little bit of tanking stuff on the side like blocker, ricochet. I mentioned dodgy before. But the derived AP that we get out of our high agility will help that out immensely. Could go bullet shield, but that's really not going to do anything when we stack that on top of what I get from my power armor already. So we'll leave that as is. We'll whack on bloody mess as well. Very nice. We've got glow sight, grenadier, and concentrated fire. Honestly, could probably shift those into endurance just to get a little bit more tankiness, but that's okay. We'll have all of the damage reduction in the world. So now we're doing 164. We'll go and get irradiated and jump in the power armor, and we'll see what we can get out of this. Actually, I'll make one amendment to the loadout. I'm just going to chuck on 2 ranks of awareness for 2 ranks of concentrated fire here, because 1 is enough just for the functionality of it. And but we can have a look at what the fire resistance of things are. So if I check on my gulpers down here, you'll note that they've got 100 fire resistance. They're in the water, so they should have more. But, you know, Bethesda don't want to make a gulpers more overpowered than they already are, you see. And here's a little bit of Gulper trivia for you, just whilst I'm doing this and would usually be wasting my time anyway. Back when they first released this game and everything was asset flipped from Fallout 4 in the Gulper's case from Far Harbor, they still carried that health regeneration that they had in Far Harbor. So they nerfed Gulpers at some point to take that health regeneration away, but you know, back then you could be shooting at a Gulper, ignore it for 5 seconds, it's already got like a quarter or to half of its health back already. So, you know, Gulpers were strong ones, so they were too strong, so Bethesda had to nerf them. But don't worry, I remember. I will never forget how they nerfed my Gulpers. Okay, I said, honey, where is your super suit? She put it on, and now we're doing 228. Yes, that's some nice additive damage bonuses. We're going to be firing very fast with this, so this DPS might actually be a lot of ass kicking. We'll see how we go. Also, I'm not actually sure whether stabilized works with this flame damage. I'm gonna say that it doesn't because they may have had an oversight, but if it does, then good. It's nice. Okay, so here we are outside of Low Hrothgar, and we look like a flame. It's a pretty cool thing, but yeah, look at this first-person aim. If I aim down sights there, you can barely see a bloody thing, so we'll probably be doing the majority of this in third person. Hey, he actually got a little bit of damage from, from the ricochet. I saw that on the health bar. There you go. But anyways, you'll note that these guys about 258 of the fire resistance. I mean, it's not really helping them. The time to kill here is still really quick, and if we get headshots, then we're going to be in really good shape. Also, we're in Strangleheart power armor. Overeaters, did I mention that before? But basically, we won't die. I think Earl could stomp on us and we'd die a few times then, but against regular old mobs here who had a very easy time taking Squishy Berserker's Winter down yesterday, they're not going to have a very good day here. So this should be a cakewalk, which is great. So we'll get inside and see how we go. Alright, now we're on the inside. Let's begin the slaughter. Yes, let's go. We'll go ahead and kill that guy. We end up getting sneak attack criticals on him because there's nothing more sneaky than a flamethrower, and I dare say they're still silent because, yeah, they're pretty silent. We're not the most stealthy in our power armor here, but if we wanted to jump out of the power armor and not be a tanky monster like this, well, you could probably get away with using this thing with stealth, but you'd probably want something like a bloodied one or an aristocrat's one or anything that isn't just a non-damage prefix to do it, because you wouldn't be in any immediate risk of dying unless you feel like you are and you just need the vampires as a safety net, but not super necessary, I don't think. So we're getting 101 damage on these chumps. You'll note that the dog's getting doubled. So these guys have bumped up to 300 damage, fire resistance, sorry. I have to take a look at the dogs. I'm suspecting they'll be much less. But with their higher health pools and everything, these guys are significantly more resistant to the flames. I heard a dog somewhere. There's usually one sitting up here, vibing in here. No, not you. Oh, here's the thing. If you're standing too close to your target and the barrel goes right through him, you'll have major trouble. I think I did kill the dog. No, I didn't. So he's only got 40 flame resistance there, and you can really feel the difference. These guys, they must have like a flammable coat or something that just goes up like firecrackers, which is good for us. And yeah, those are like the little scouts. They hit really hard, but they're easy to kill, so kind of wish more enemies were like that in Fallout 76, because I feel like that's the way of doing difficulty a little bit better. I think I missed that fella up there. That guy immediately shot at me. Also, I've got a bunch of things, like the 5% chance to deal X damage to targets. I'm wondering if that procced before, and that's why I saw the dint on the health bar when I, maybe that was just Ricochet itself, but yep, we're done here. May as well go and fight a bunch of ghouls. Oh, I stand corrected. Where are ya? We'll create a wall of flames for him. Tell you what, this beast's destruction magic, my magic of bar would be running out by now. Also, destruction magic in Skyrim is like really weak, isn't it? Like, I've never been able to use it right. Alright, time to walk into the front door on this one. Hold the trigger down for 200 units of fuel, and we'll see what kind of work we can get done. So this will be a good old-fashioned horde event where we go around and aggro all of them. Special thanks to the Strangleheart power armor for giving me the poison radius around me to make them all very annoyed indeed. Even gets these guys up from below. Excuse me, fellas. Would be a nice time to use Pain Train, but we'll keep the AP for any tanking that we need to do. I think we'll run straight through here, and ooh, we got staggered. I think that was the Wendigos. They're hit a little bit harder than usual. Now I'm going to point at the table and just flame away. Let me check my phone whilst I'm doing this. It's an impenetrable wall of fire. That one ran across, then got staggered back into it. Classic. Go away, Earl. You're not a big grown Earl yet. Come on. I'm ringing the dinner bell here. Except the meat that you can smell cooking, that's other ghoul. I think I'm, like, are the giblets messing up the pathing or what? What's going on down there? Oh, they're luring me in. Because they realize they're watching the gameplay before they thought to themselves, alright, if we get real close to this guy, the barrel will poke straight through us and the fire can't touch us. What on earth is going on down here? Is there a ghoul rave that I wasn't invited to going downstairs? Is that what's going on? Yes, it would appear so. Tell you what though, the plan worked. They had a rave down here, got me distracted and wandered down to him, and they got a few hits in. Unfortunately, I'm wearing power armor, so none of what they can do, even the radiation damage that they deal, does basically nothing. Also, if you've been watching the ammo reference, we've been getting through it a little bit quick, but it's okay. You know, the world's supposed to be in like a giant oil shortage, so they're looking for alternate sources of fuel, but there's plenty of that lying around for your flamethrowers, so there you go. There's a ghoul stuck in the wall. I think we'll just leave this one. Alright, so at range, we can extend the range out a little bit now, and we can shoot the napalm in an arc that, well, it doesn't seem all that impressive because we can't reach them from there, but I feel like that it's getting a little bit further than we're letting on. See, we can light those up. I mean, it's better than nothing. It's better than the bug we had in the first little thing that I showed you how to fix. So, you know, bottom line is it is a flamethrower, so you will have to be almost in melee distance to get any work done with it. But that's okay, because we're built for tanking. You finished? Good, my turn. See ya. I just saw 500 on the head, which I think is very good. So we'll run down here. I'm lacking the effect on this in the dark. We'll have a look at that a little bit later. But this thing might be... It might look unreal in the dark because of that little flamey tip and the little glowing eyes that you get on it. I'm in caution, so we'll utilize the follow-through bonus, which we did with great effect. That's nice. Yeah, look at that. That's awesome. I like that. That's really cool. Tell you what, not a terrible skin. Quite like it. Alright, time to fry some crabs. This should be easy, right? Right. There we go. I think we managed to get a couple there. I don't know if the flame passes right through stuff, but it looks like the effect does. Maybe just the impacts that I'm seeing. That'd be interesting. Does anyone actually know? I'm going to try it here. Well, I certainly killed that. Hey, that one just ran into the water to put the fire out. He didn't stop, drop, and roll. That's where you went wrong, pal. There goes another Mirelurk there. We'll definitely try to grab the... I mean, we won't really need it, but we'll try to grab the follow-through effect on the Mirelurk Queen if we can. And since this thing is silent, we can get the drop on her if we quickly run around here. And then just toss a grenade over in this direction. This should get her all hot and bothered. There she goes. 200 damage. And before I kill her, 250. Huh. Despite, you know, being in water and everything, I mean, that's not going to affect her or anything, but yeah, she's got slightly less fire resistance than the big super mutants that we're facing earlier, so there you go. That's cool, right? Alright, time to fight the bats. And just thinking about where these guys crawl out from and what they're resistant to, I feel like the bats should have a decent amount of, I guess, fire resistance. If they don't, I'm going to be surprised here. We've got Enforcer, so we'll use that to knock them down. We could, alternatively, just, like, jump up with our jetpacks and fire at them that way, but whatever. I think that one's ready to drop. We can shoot at this one now, and they're slightly out of range. We'll sweep in here, we'll get a couple of kills, get some adrenaline going, and you've got 183, which is less. Now, considering you crawl out of a giant fissure hole in the ground, I find that hard to believe, but I'm not going to object to it. So that one's done, he got him mutated, and you're going to mutate as well, so I'll let you go. And if you're going to jump down now or just float in a general way around me, we'll just use this opportunity to put the barrel straight through and do no damage. That's good. Actually, he's kind of stuck there. We're toasting his nutsack. Poor bastard. Bad way to go down. Oh, you're the one that staggered me, you little bastard, punching me. That's okay because I've got a jag. No, it's okay because I've got a vampire's weapon. So anything they can do to me, you know, if it's not like a little bit more permanent, like radiation damage, then we're fine. And apparently, the bats are liking their balls being toasted on a grill this morning because they're seemingly just lining themselves up for it. Maybe the other one had a great time and said, oi, instead of doing literally anything else, you should just come and try this. You won't regret it. and maybe he died with no regrets. You don't know what the Scorch Beasts do in their spare time. They don't vibe like gulpers, I'll tell you that much. We shouldn't get this one out of the thing. Oh, actually we are. So we'll shoot him in the face. 181 damage when you're hitting for this fast, for this long, this power. You're going to kill everything really, really quick. And that was just like with a vampire's prefix. Now I had the gunsmith thing on because I know these things are a little bit flimsy, but it's pretty good. You know, even with the nothing prefix, granted it is being boosted by a couple of things like Adrenal Reaction and Nerd Rage, it kicks a lot of ass. Oh, more rats. Please, please, please show up. I want to kick your asses. But it's another one of these weapons, and there's quite a lot of them in the heavy gun variety that you can do a lot of good work, and you can set up so you basically never ever die. And if you want to do like a full tanky, full health build where you never actually super ever die, even in Earth fights when you get stomped on him a few times, then it's really quite easy to do that. Now the flamer in itself, although it doesn't have any range to it, which is not really an issue because you basically get maximum damage all the time, you don't have to worry about that. But you can't hit things over a distance, and if you want to take a Scorch Beast down, you kind of have to switch to a shotgun just to get Enforcer to work, but that's okay. I actually don't mind this, because another thing about this is it's got a high mag capacity, but there's no trade-off here like a spin-up. So, yeah, the Flamer, I think, is actually one of the more underrated weapons, and there's probably people going to say that, no, I'll use a Flamer every day, it's great, which, yeah, I get it. Or people will say, you know, Legacy Flamers are great too. Yeah, but they fire bullets, which means, you know, it's not special. If I pick up a Flamer, I want it to be spitting flames, not explosive bullets. And now I understand that explosive flamers are really powerful, but if I wanted something explosive and shooting fast like that, I'd just get a Legacy laser gun with a beam splitter because it just shoots 5 in a really tight forming. So, yep, I'll gladly take the flamethrowers over it. And that's about it. Nothing more to say to this one, except if you've got a Vampire's Flamer, it doesn't even have to have the secondary and tertiary legendary effects. You use it, and you won't die, and you can reap the rewards, like getting Stimpaks and then selling them to the robots, even though they rip you off for caps. Remember, Stimpaks weigh stuff in your inventory. Caps do not. And on that note, thank you very much for watching, guys. I'm out of here.